Hey guys, we're going to continue our exploration of the collar and sleeve guard. Today we're going to be looking at our triangle choke. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we were working on last class so that we have the context of what we were doing. So we were talking first about pulling to the collar and sleeve guard. So we grip up, keeping a low stance head to head. I step with the sleeve side grip as I create my frames and a good knee elbow connection. From here we were just talking about creating our connections and maintaining control as our opponent starts to move around us. Tonight though, we're going to be talking about how to attack the triangle choke. This is a great companion to the overhead sweep that we did last class. So I'll demonstrate it and then we'll check it out. So the triangle choke, a really powerful choke. It's one of the most highest percentage techniques that we can learn in Jiu Jitsu. What we're doing is we're using our thigh and their shoulder via internal rotation to occlude the arteries on the sides of their neck. So this is a great technique to attack from the collar and sleeve. So just like we looked with the overhead sweep, I'm going to switch my grip from the same side collar to a cross collar grip, making sure I keep the thumb close to his ear. I'm going to start to step on his arm to create rotational control in his upper body to start pushing his arm away from him. Now, once I get this lever control here, my goal is to isolate his head and his arm in between my legs. I can't do a triangle choke if I have both of his arms inside or both of his arms outside. I need one head and one shoulder. So again, I'm going to start to press his arm away from me as I lift my hips up into his armpit. I want to shoot my hips up as high as I can. Once I have my hips in this position, I'm going to start to take my right leg off, and I'm going to use this leg like a guillotine to chop the back of his head. I want to keep my thigh connected to the side of his neck so that my thigh is occluding the artery here. Once I start to chop, I'm going to use this right leg to help me create a perpendicular angle, so I'm looking into his ear. My partner is going to be good and stay up on their feet to maintain their base. Now that I have this position, I'm going to start to lock the triangle and squeeze to finish. With this particular triangle variation, I'm utilizing more of a leg press as opposed to more of an old school triangle where I would catch and then try to squeeze my knees in this way. By creating this 90-degree angle, I'm utilizing a leg press into the side of his neck. So we're kind of staying with that same idea that we were working on with the overhead sweep, with a pressing motion to attack our partner's center of gravity. So again, from here, once I get my grips, I start to press, shoot my leg up. Notice how I'm keeping my thigh against his neck. Notice also I'm not letting go of these grips, guys. I'm keeping both these grips super strong the entire time. I start to create the angle as I lock the triangle and perform my squeeze. All right, let's show it from a different angle. So again, good low stance. We can start with the cross collar grip, but remember it's easier to just start with the same side and then develop the cross collar grip later on. So I pull, switch off to the cross collar grip as I start to look for my rotational control. My hips shoot as I catch and start to turn the corner and finish with the triangle squeeze here. Remember, the triangle itself comes from the space that we create by bringing our leg down and then hooking our knee over top of our ankle to create this triangle shape. Okay, I'll do one more time without talking. So this is our triangle choke. Next, we're going to be talking about how to chain the triangle choke and the armbar together when our partner starts to stack and defend. Let's check it out. All right, guys, now let's talk about how we can create a system with our triangle choke. What we're going to be looking at now is our opponent creating a very basic defensive reaction of trying to pull their body up out of the triangle, try to pull them free their arm. So again, we're starting in the same position here. As I shoot that triangle choke, I'm going to start to get into this position, but my partner now notices that they're getting a one in, one out sort of position. So even if I lock the triangle, he's going to start to lift his hips and pull this arm out. If he can free this arm, I've now lost the triangle. We would want to now abandon this and just start to reframe our guard so that way we don't get past. However, if we feel their reaction, we're going to systemize our attack. As he starts to pull his arm out, he needs to step closer to me. So we're going to start to underhook and catch the armbar here. So with this particular attack, we're going to be utilizing an underhook on the leg and then maintaining a sleeve grip as we step over the head to transition to the wrist and finish the armbar. So we'll start the same way. I'm attacking the triangle. My partner starts to arch like they're doing a deadlift. Notice how he steps close. I'm going to let go of his arm and underhook. This helps me not only create the angle, this also connects me to him and makes it harder for him to lift me. If I don't get this, lifting is a very dangerous thing, right? I never want to be up off the ground, suspended on someone, because they can slam me on my back, which is completely illegal. However, it is a very dangerous thing that can happen. So once I create this angle, it helps anchor me to him. Now I'm simply going to catch the wrist with my other hand as I put the bag over his head. Now my weight is hanging off of his arm, so this is a very quick tap. So just be ready for the top person to tap and then immediately switch out. All right, guys, let's look at it from a different angle. So we're in a good low stance. We're gonna grip up. As I pull, I'm gonna immediately start attacking that triangle. So I step, I shoot, and I get to the position. He starts to limp arm. As I transition here, I can catch and attack to finish the armbar. Okay, we'll go one more time from the front. Here we go. Again, this is a very quick and powerful armbar, so please make sure you use control. We don't have to break our partner's arm when we're drilling it. I mean, in a competition, do what you gotta do. All right, guys, now let's talk about the last piece that we can use to systemize our triangle here. We're gonna talk about how the triangle can be used as a sweep to come up on top of our opponent. So we're gonna systemize this again, but what's the reaction we're looking for now? Well, the reaction that we're looking for is our opponent, once they feel that they're caught in this triangle, they're gonna drop to their knees, and they're gonna look to hide their elbow. So notice how Coach Seth is pulling his elbow to my left side, his right side. This is a good defensive reaction because I cannot start to internally rotate his shoulder into the side of his neck. So once this happens, I'm gonna start to sweep him and come up to the mount. So I'm gonna demonstrate that slowly. Now that I'm in the mount, I can keep the triangle position and finish the armbar. So let's look at how we're performing this sweep. We're gonna be starting to extend and lift our hips as we face roll right over top of them to the mount. Now, one consideration you need to make is the size of your opponent in relation to you. If your partner is significantly bigger than you, this can be a little bit dangerous on your ankles, so just understand that you can unlock your legs if it feels uncomfortable at any time and just simply come up onto both your knees. That's totally fine too. However, ideally, we wanna try to keep the triangle the entire way through. So what I'm gonna look to do is I'm gonna lift my hips up as high as I can. If you feel like you need a little bit of help or momentum, you can use your arms to start to roll. I'm simply gonna barrel roll onto my face as I take him over with me. Their posture and their sort of base also determines their stability. So sometimes they might fall over by their own accord. So if they start to fall, we're just gonna ride up with them. Again, my hips lift, I roll, use your hands to push off the ground. Now again, I can keep the triangle because Coach Seth and I are pretty much the same size, but if we rotate a little bit here, if you feel like your feet are stuck underneath them, just open up the triangle. That's totally fine. Now that I'm in this position, look, we're gonna snatch the wrist 2-on-1. I'm gonna hip in and just pull his arm in the wrong way. So I'm just pulling his arm wherever it's not supposed to go. Let's see this from the rear view. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that you can use to help relock the triangle when you come up into the mount. Okay, so we'll do it from the back angle now. Okay, so I pull, I start to attack the triangle, he drops to the knees and hides his elbow. So now watch this, guys. As I start to face roll over, if I feel like my feet are being compromised, again, like I said, feel free to uncross them. However, if I want to recross my feet, I'm just gonna lean my body to the other side. Look how that starts to elevate Coach Seth's shoulder. See how both my legs are now completely mobile? I can now relock the triangle and settle my weight back down on top. Again, from here, we'll catch the wrist with 2 hands and finish the armbar. So the triangle provides a lot of positional control. So try to keep the triangle as you're coming up. If you feel like your feet are getting stuck or like it starts to hurt, you can unlock. But if you want to keep the triangle, just continue to lean, relock it, and then settle your weight back. All right, guys, let's see it one more time from the front. So competitively, this would be a sweep, 2 points. You would not receive points for the mount because you haven't actually attained the mount with your legs on either side of your opponent. However, this is still a great movement. This is a very common thing that we see in younger age group competitions. They attack the triangle. The top person just doesn't have the base to stay up, so they fall over. Just maintain the position, come on top, and start to hip in to finish that triangle, or the armbar. So we looked at a couple different triangle variations, setting up with the collar and sleeve. We're systemizing our attacks. So we're looking at how can we start with the triangle, turn it into our armbar when they posture out, and then turn it into a sweep when they drop to their knees and hide the elbow. So guys, take your time when you're drilling this, focus on your hips, keep a nice high connection to your partner, and constantly keep their posture broken.